Welcome to Vegan Finds, where we're going to turn this into this super cream detox soup with pumpkin seeds on top. Okay, so after Thanksgiving, you're probably feeling a bit sluggish or just a little bit gross, from overindulging. And quite honestly, that's how I feel. Um, if you've watched any of our videos, you could see that we did a lot of cooking in preparation for Thanksgiving and subsequently a lot of eating. So, in between Thanksgiving and our next holiday, which is Hanukkah, but that's not a big holiday in our house, food wise, and obviously Christmas is the biggie. We want to do a little bit of a detox to kind of reset our system, maybe feel a little bit better about what we just consumed, and get our food back on track. So what we're going to be doing is a series of detox soups and dishes that will help flush out your system, really be healthy, clean, and just hopefully make you feel a little bit better. They're going to combine a lot of ingredients that are healthy for you. So I'm going to make a soup. It's going to be basically spinach and kale. I have a big bag of kale. Then I'm going to add some other items to it. One of them is this stuff right here. This is black garlic. This is a fermented garlic that is going to add some potency to the dish and a sweet, fragrant flavor. We've got obviously onion, which has got some good healing properties. Ginger, of course, an apple, which bumps up the fiber content, but also gives a kind of special bite to the soup. And we're going to add some avocado, which has a lot of good curative properties, especially for people who don't have healthy guts to go along with it. Also, I'm going to add some celery. And I'm going to just show you. This is kind of like a really limp celery, but people always throw this part out, the leaves. Don't. That is just crazy. There's a lot of great flavor packed in there, so we're going to cook that up as well. And then I'm going to add one secret ingredient to this, and it's something that if you want to boost up the savoriness of your vegetable stock, you add like a half a cup of green tea. And the green tea's got obviously a lot of antioxidants, so it's going to be a double whammy in this case. So I'm going to get started by chopping up our onions, getting and the black garlic, and getting it into the pan to start. Then I'm going to add our other ingredients, and I will show you that momentarily. So I'm going to add my onions in right now. I'm just doing a rough chop because we are going to be basically blending this. So there's no point in really going and being professional about how you're chopping stuff up. The one thing I will note is that the avocado is going to go in after everything has been cooked. So you don't want to actually cook your avocado in the soup there. I'm going to prep everything else. I'm also not going to peel the apple. This is an organic green apple, so I'm not worried about pesticides in the peel. So that's another thing that when you're considering adding stuff like that to your dish. So I'm going to let this cook a bit, and once this is softened up, I will start with the next ingredients. In a handful of celery, a little bit more, really focusing on using the leaves because those are really healthy for you. And again, all this is about is kind of helping detoxify the body. That's why we're adding the ginger, especially for people who are feeling sluggish and kind of like that gross feeling you get after a really large, meal. You kind of want to just go and call it a day. That's what this soup is kind of going to mitigate. I'm going to add the apple. Just going to toss it in. Again, everything is just being rough chopped because we are going to be putting this into a blender. And you're going to start to see some familiar ingredients. There's going to be another soup that has ginger. A couple, actually 2 soups after this also will have ginger. And ginger is really good, especially if you have stomach problems. And as a kid, I had tremendous stomach issues for a long time. And I found that, you know, having ginger, drinking ginger ale, obviously really helped that. And so I really grew up liking ginger a lot. Okay, so my green apple's now in. We're going to let that cook for just a teeny tiny bit more. And then I'm going to add some revitalizing water to this, using alkaline water. Just going to add just a little bit. Let the flavors kind of mingle. Smells good. I'm not putting any salt in this. If you want, if you absolutely have to have salt, you can add it to it after. But soups and stuff, I like to salt them after I've cooked them, just because some of the ingredients are naturally salty. I'm going to add our ginger, adding just probably about a tablespoon to this. Give it a good stir. Now, if you want to use veggie stock, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Just use a good, a good one, or homemade would be preferable. Although I'm one to talk because I almost never use homemade veggie stock. Now I'm going to toss in our spinach. This is 1 whole bag, which is 8 ounces. That's going to cook down tremendously, trust me. And then I'm going to get out the kale and I'm going to add that as well. I'm just going to let that go. We got our kale going in. All healthy handfuls. And obviously kale is a very vitamin-rich vegetable. Now again, the nice thing with some of this is that you can add a few other vegetables. If you got like a zucchini left over, go ahead, toss it in. It's not gonna make it worse, so let's put it that way. So we're gonna let this cook down, and once the kale and the spinach have cooked down, we're gonna put it into our food processor, and we're gonna basically blend this up. I'm going to add more kale to this because once this is blended, there's not going to be a lot there. This is basically going to be enough for maybe like 2 bowls. That's the one thing. In the bag, the spinach looks really huge, and the kale look really huge, but as you can see, it does not take much. I'm actually going to add more ginger because I really like ginger. About this, you can grate it on your grater. I'm not even going to do that. And you can see how much this is already kind of blended down, or cooked down, as it were. There we go. Got some more. If there are other greens that you want to utilize, go right ahead. Beet greens, chard would be great as well. They're all really good for you. So there's no, shame if you don't, for some reason you don't like kale, which, for a lot of people. I was never really a kale, Well, let me rephrase that. I I was never really a kale fan. I didn't eat kale until maybe like a year or two ago. So to say I was never a fan, I couldn't be a fan if I never had it before. So again, and you can see this is just cooking down tremendously, and it will be ready to be blended shortly. So I'm going to let this cook for a few more minutes, and then I will pop this in our food processor. Okay, I know I'm sure you thought I forgot, but I've got my green tea brewing in here. And actually, this is a mint green tea. Um, and mint is another kind of really wonderful um, herb to use for its healing properties, especially in the gut area. And again, if you have, digestive issues and things like that, ginger's terrific. Mint is excellent. Drink some mint tea. That's always good. So our tea is ready. I'm just going to add it, and now I'm going to give this a little stir. Oh, it smells so good. It really smells fantastic. And now I'm just going to put this into our food processor, blend it up, and then it's going to go back into the pot. It might be a smaller pot than this one, but it's going back into a pot. Okay, so you can see we've blended this down. It's still pretty thick. I actually switched to a traditional blender. I just added some lime juice. I'm going to add a little bit more to this. Lime juice is a good alkalizing agent, according to all the things that I've read. Although it doesn't, I don't understand the process behind that, but I'm going to give it a little taste. Ooh, that's really good. I'm going to add some more veggie stock for Doris, but basically this soup is done. It literally takes no time to make. You can eat it hot or cold or room temperature if you want. It's all up to you, how you like it. I will show you the finished product shortly. Okay, so Doris has asked me to make this a little zippier. So I'm adding a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper to this. Of course, cayenne pepper is also another great spice to add for detoxing. It's part of the master cleanse for those people who are into that. I, for one, am not. So I'll take a little taste, see where we're at. We might add more. Ooh, a little bit spicy at the end. You want to take a little taste? So I'm adding a little bit of salt. Now this is to taste, but this is quite a green-laden soup, we'll call it. We added black pepper, and I'm going to add another quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And the salt should actually enhance the cayenne pepper, wake it up even more than it already is woken up. So, give it another little taste. Looks good. I feel cleansed already. Wow. You're going to eat like 4 or 5 bites and you're going to start to feel it. So here's the final product. We got some pumpkin seeds, about a tablespoon on top. You got all these great nutrients in there. So if you like these recipes, please click subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, share with your friends. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. We are Vegan Fine on Twitter, Vegan Finds everywhere else. So stick around, be healthy, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.